throwing shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent. Niggas is broke.
Now before we start, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. SeatGeek is an app that takes all the tickets from all the websites on the internet and puts them in one place for you guys to find the best deals on the tickets you want. In the app, they show a map, and the green circles represent the good deals and the red ones represent the bad ones. And when you find a good deal, you can click on it and it will show you the view from the seats you're buying. And thanks to SeatGeek, I can give you guys $20 back on your first order by clicking on the Me tab and entering my promo code BSOLZ. BSOLZ. You can download the app from the link in the description. But now on to the video. We all just saw what happened. The Warriors demolished the Cavs, the only team that people thought had a chance of dethroning the Warriors alongside the San Antonio Spurs. They looked outmatched on both ends of the court. So now the question is, what do the Cavs do in the offseason? Now people are saying two things. Either LeBron leaves Cleveland or the Cavs trade for another star. Honestly, the more likely scenario is for them to trade for another star. But with that being said, LeBron leaving Cleveland is still an option. It's just not a likely one. Because just think about it. Besides having no other team to go to, what reason does he really have to stay in Cleveland? Is it to be loyal to his team? I'm sorry, but that boat already sailed once in 2010 and burnt to ashes again in 2014. Is it because he wants to deliver a championship to Cleveland? No, he already delivered once, and I don't think he ever promised that he'll deliver more than once. And as constructed, we just saw that LeBron at his peak, with arguably the best surrounding cast he's ever had, stood no chance against the Golden State Warriors. He's done everything and anything Cleveland can ask for, so looking from that perspective, he has all the right to leave, and it will be an option, but it's not a likely one. Because any team outside of Cleveland LeBron goes to will either be in the West, where it'd have to beat the Spurs and the Warriors in one playoff run, or another Eastern team, in which he already is on the best one. So to me personally, his best bet in terms of public image and in terms of basketball would still be to stay in Cleveland and try to rebuild that team. Because at this point, LeBron's had the same cast for around 3 years. And they've lost 2 of their last 3 finals appearances against the same team. And the one they won, the Warriors were still good enough to go up 3-1. So it's clear and obvious that if LeBron wants to be back in the GOAT discussion, his team needs to make big changes this offseason. The question is, what are these moves the Cavs have to make? And to me, the number one trade the Cavs have to gun for is Paul George. Specifically, Kevin Love for Paul George. Because let's face it, no one can defend the Warriors. They have 3 of to me, the 10 greatest shooters of all time when it's all said and done, plus a Swiss Army knife of a power forward in Draymond Green, who's capable of dropping 30 in some nights when he's feeling it. And those 3 shooters that I just talked about are also elite shot creators that can take you off the bounce and can individually score 15 straight points by themselves when they're hot. Add that to the crisp ball movement of the Warriors offense and elite role players such as Livingston and Iggy. I mean, they're indefensible. But what you can do, as hard as it might sound and as impossible as it might sound, is to try to out-offense the Warriors. Or at least neutralize their offense with an offense that can go toe-to-toe with theirs. And have a defensive lineup that can keep up with the speed of the Warriors offense to minimize the switches that their offense creates so often. And I think you get a step closer to that said-so team with Paul George. And the only way you get Paul George is by trading Kevin Love. Now Kevin Love, let me be clear, has improved a lot and is valuable to Cleveland's team right now. He's an amazing player, but specifically against Golden State, specifically against this team, he's too slow on defense, and on offense, he's not going to make the Warriors run around and tire them out, generally speaking. And also, he's not that consistent. And you need consistency against the Golden State Warriors. The only upside he really has on George is rebounding, which is not really that useful when every shot that's being taken by the Warriors is going in because your defense is suspect. And even in that case, Paul George is only 1 inch shorter than Love, so you're not really losing that much vertically. And although he's not averaging 11-12 rebounds a night, he's still capable of averaging 7 to 8, which is pretty good. However, you still lose girth with Paul George. But in all honesty, against the Golden State Warriors, you don't really want that much because you want to keep up with them moving around and keep your offense spaced. And Paul George allows that. So to me, the number one priority is Paul George for them this offseason. The next issue to address is definitely shot blocking. If you look at this series, the Cavs had no rim protector. Their best one is LeBron James at 1.3 per game. But he already has to do so much on offense, plus the fact that he's guarding KD, if not Klay Thompson, when he's not guarding KD. I mean, he can't do everything, man. Although he is trying his best to cover all the holes. So to me, the issue needs to be addressed as well. And honestly, if I'm the Cavs, I'd spend a lot of time with Larry Sanders and Andrew Bogut to get them in shape for the next season. Because I don't think there's any shot blocker out there that's really available. Another option, bear with me here, would be Kyrie Irving and contract filler for Russell Westbrook. Now, this isn't clickbait, and no, I don't think it is likely the Cavs would do this. But if I'm them, I would really consider this trade. Because check it out, from OKC's side, Russell Westbrook would be playing on his last year of his contract next year. And you know what's worse than losing James Harden over $4 million? Losing KD for nothing. And you know what would be worse than that? Letting Russell Westbrook go for nothing. So yes, I get that other teams can offer up, high stock draft picks and projects, but what you get from Kyrie is a star that can play with the best of them, who's only 25 years old and under contract for 2 more years. Absolutely better than letting him walk for nothing. Now on Cleveland's side, I mean, when you have a chance to pair 2 of the top 10 players in the league, some would argue top 5, you take that chance. And I know Russ and LeBron do have similar playstyles, but I believe if Russ is on that team, he sure as hell won't be acting like he can do everything. Not with LeBron, not with Tristan, not with JR on that team. He certainly isn't. So I think he can adapt in that sense. And yes, I know Kyrie and LeBron play well together. I do get that. But you know what that play has gotten them? Almost being beat by the same team 3 times in a row. So I think it is time to change it up somehow, some way. The same way the Clippers have to. And just from the mental side of things, I mean, you don't think Russ will give the Cavs a mental edge with his mentality, especially against Curry and Durant? You don't think Russ, knowing he has the opportunity to shove it in KD's face, won't adapt to the Cavs simply because he's too selfish and he's never done it? When you have that opportunity, I believe he will sacrifice. And going back to the basketball side of things, what was the one thing that we saw that really held the Cavs back against the Warriors? Besides the Warriors just being a better team, it's the fact that the Cavs literally do not know how to play without LeBron on the court. Game 3, the Warriors scored 12 points in the only 2 minutes he was out. He played 46 minutes, and in the 2 minutes he was out, they lost the lead. And they had like a 7-point lead. And this is just the worst example of it. There are many other examples that I've seen throughout the series that aren't really documented. But going back to Russ, if you get Russ, you have a guy that has proven that he will play at a high level with or without talent around him. And I think the fact that you can get LeBron to rest while Russ can actually lead a unit for 4 to 5 minutes at a time, I mean, against the Warriors, that's very valuable. And also his physicality. Look, I'm not saying he's a lockdown defender. I'm not saying he's Kawhi Leonard or Patrick Beverley. But when you look at what the Thunder did in 2016 to the Warriors, and what the Cavs did to the Warriors in Game 4, and in 2016 as well, you see the opposing team roughing the Warriors up. And I firmly believe Russ can do a better job at that than Kyrie. So I think definitely if I'm the Cavs, I would really consider this trade. And now going on to their bench. I feel like their bench is actually pretty good for the Cavs, but for them to be effective in the game, LeBron has to be on the court. When you look at the best benches in the league, the Warriors, the Spurs, the Celtics, the Rockets, they have players that aren't reliant on certain players, meaning they can go out there and produce by themselves. The Cavs have Kyle Korver, Darren Williams, Derek Williams, Channing Frye, Iman Shumpert, etc., who are good players when LeBron's on the court. But what happens when he isn't? Exactly. In this area, I'm not really sure what they can do, but hopefully they can get some pieces that can actually play without LeBron. Because we always think, oh, this player would play great with LeBron. But we never think of the times when LeBron is actually not on the court. The times when Golden State can go on these 15-0 runs in 2 minutes with nothing to counter them. So that's what I think the Cavs should do. Number 1, Paul George. Number 2, rim protection. Number 3, Russell Westbrook, as crazy as that sounds. And number 4, improve their bench. But with that being said, man, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below, and I am out. Peace.